And we are back.
We're back.
You're very big.
Me? Oh, no.
Did you bump the camera when you were doing your phone thing a minute ago?
Me?
Yep.
I don't think so.
I think you did. Because you're way huge.
Damn.
You're very tall. It makes me want to sing the Jolly Green Giant from the Demolition Man movie.
Does that look better?
Yes.
Okay.
Now we're equally huge. All right, guys, we're here. It's Wednesday. We're doing a thing. We're going to do some live reads today. Want to get through some housekeeping first?
Yeah.
Okay. We have My Husband's Got Me shirt dropping this Sunday night. We have another shirt dropping Sunday that says Choose Your Heart on the front of it. Those should be advertised on the website as soon as I get them. I don't know when that'll be because I don't have them yet. Mm-hmm. I obviously forgot to hit record on the cameras, as you can tell by the black borders that are currently around the screen. Go me. Ow, I just shocked the shit out of myself.
I actually did not know that was a thing.
What?
That the black borders minute wasn't recorded.
Yeah, it zooms in when you hit the record button. Steve, you may have to hit yours too. I don't think I hit yours either. It's on the back, your left. Yep. Up, over, other way. Boom. Yeah. All right.
That was amazing to watch, guys.
That was pretty slick, right?
That was pretty dope, yeah.
So the shirts are dropping. We have almost all of the blanket hoodies have been shipped. I'm sitting on 2 right now that need to go out, and they're going to Canada, which I had to buy separate shipping for because you can't send large flat rate through ShipStation. You have to actually order it through the USPS website, which is fucking stupid. But everything has been shipped minus 6 packages. And those are going out this afternoon, plus all the ones that are currently in the hallway. But all the packaging and shipping for everything that was pre-ordered in hoodies will be done. We have a huge group of people coming in this weekend from Discord, so we'll have the Discord crew here.
Oh my God, today's Wednesday.
Today's Wednesday. Yep, they start coming in today, actually.
Holy shit.
Yep.
Okay.
Next week.
This came quick.
Yeah, next week we have Sam Alvey, the former UFC fighter, who's still a professional fighter, just no longer fighting in the UFC, coming in studio. The Conservative Ant episode drops this Friday. Mm-hmm. We have the Sunday religious content that people have been asking for that will drop this Sunday. Next Friday, we have Rick from the Warriors Way Mindset dropping. I don't know why I can't say that. I always say Warrior Ways, and it's not. It's Warriors Way Mindset. Mm-hmm. But that's a 3-part series. Your African Hippie drops tomorrow.
Tomorrow, yeah.
Yep.
On Patreon.
Yep. So that's exciting. And then we have a lot. We have so much going on.
Yeah.
We have somebody that's coming in from Change Unchained in December that is going to be talking about human trafficking. He has an organization that is designed to stop human trafficking, and they put people into tiny homes.
Okay.
So they buy Connex containers and build them so that people have a place to live if they've been trafficked and they've been rescued. So
I'm gonna have to mentally prepare for that.
yeah, it's gonna be a lot. It's gonna be a lot. I've been talking to the owner. He's a badass.
That knowledge is going to devastate me. I feel like it's also going to empower me in a way a lot of people aren't willing to empower themselves in.
Yeah. Yep. And the last thing that I'm waiting on is to set a date, a tentative date, like on the books, with Laura the Mortician. So she's agreed. I've got all of it hashed out. I've given her 2 dates that work for us, and it's just a matter of her coming back and agreeing to one of them so that we can get her in studio.
Okay.
But they're moving ahead. I'm excited at the way things are going. So, what's that?
Our alerts are off on the overlay.
Boom. Now we just got to get some super chat so it says a name instead of no data. Oh, there's one right there. Just as soon as I push the button. Let's see if it pops up on there, though. It's not showing yet. I wonder if it's got a lag. I don't know. Maybe it's a me problem. We'll see.
I saw someone mention I'm shaking. I am cold as fuck right now.
Yeah?
Yeah, I'm shivering.
People are pretty stoked about the new people that are coming on. So super chat real quick before we get into emails. It says, I'm on a journey and getting in touch with who I am as an adult, specifically being more comfortable with, and it's gone. More comfortable with my actual feelings and solidifying my sense of self. Listening to y'all has kept me grounded. Helped and kept is 2 different words. They don't even look the same. So thank you for the super chat, guys. If you guys send super chats, we will be reading those super chats after we get through some emails because we're gonna do some live reads today. So somebody said that Lauren was on Bunny's podcast.
Mm-hmm.
I think that the people that we have been working with and the people that we have been interviewing and making connections with is going to lead us to that eventually. It may be a year from now, but I believe it'll happen.
That's crazy. Can I have a heated blanket, please?
Do you have a heated blanket?
I
Are you
don't have
asking
a
me to
heated
get up and get one?
No, like, can we buy one?
I don't see why not. I have my jacket over here.
Can I wear your jacket?
You're gonna look like Farmer Peaches.
I am okay with that. It's fall weather.
Hip hop version of Farmer Peaches because it's 2XL. That's my favorite riding jacket.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I remember the first time I saw you in that thing.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh shit. I didn't. Farmer was not the thing that came to mind though.
It's a very.
It was like, wow, you're a bigger Jax Teller that shaved.
It's a very easy to conceal carry a Desert Eagle in that jacket because it's so big.
Yeah.
I just want it to be known that I feel like in my most feminine right now in this moment.
Yeah, in my jacket.
Yeah, I like this.
All right, let's get into some emails.
Okay. This one is titled, Girlfriend is Upset That We Don't Have Fights.
Oh, man. All right.
Good day. I hope you both are doing well. Recently, my girlfriend and I have been going downhill, and I found out that she's upset that we don't ever have yelling fights or any kind of verbal conflict. I try to be an understanding person, so I try not to get mad or throw blame her way, which I guess is not correct to her. She says it is because she grew up around fighting, and that is how she is used to relationships going. If you have any advice or recommendations, please let me know. To give more context to this, I believe she is upset that I don't get upset about things that she does. She also recently said that she does feel like she is losing emotional intimacy, and I'm not sure how to help or fix that. I show her love, and I try all love languages. I'm just not sure what more I can do. I care about her. Oh, I'm just not sure what more I can do to show her that I care about her and her life.
It's so hard not to be an asshole.
That's a lot to process. That's a lot.
Okay, so here's how we get kicked off YouTube. So when she comes home tonight, if you're there before her, make a really big deal about not having dinner on the table. Start screaming and yelling, smack the salt shakers off the counter, tell her place is in front of the stove, be as aggressive as possible and be a real big dickhead. And then when she's like, what the fuck is your problem? Be like, you said you wanted some more conflict. Like, I'm just giving you fuel for the fire so you can get mad and then we can start arguing.
Yeah. Be like, is that what you wanted?
Yeah.
I put it all into that.
Yeah. You should get you should make a fake WWE belt. And you can make promos and send it to her while she's at work.
Oh man, let me tell you something, brother.
Yeah. Yeah. You said you wanted conflict. Well, let me tell you.
Ooh yeah.
Oh, so stupid. How can you? I am empathetic towards the lack of emotional intimacy.
Right.
But how can somebody say that I am not like they want more conflict? How did they word that? They're mad that we don't scream and yell at each other.
It says she's upset that we don't ever have yelling fights or any kind of verbal conflict. People pray for that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Somebody has not worked through their problems before getting into a relationship.
Yeah, that's a lot of that's just blatant refusal for any introspection on, is this the way to handle it? Advice for that? I need to think. Does she watch the podcast?
Start the check-ins.
Do you think she would be comfortable doing a check-in?
I don't know.
Like, this is pure speculation at this point. Like,
I don't see why not. I mean, if she needs some screaming and yelling, I mean, you could fake that. I don't know. Why would you want that? Why would you want somebody to scream at you?
right, but in faking that, you start to become that, and then
Yeah, I don't know. It sounds like somebody has emotional damage.
You nailed that.
Did I?
You did.
I have seen it a lot on TikTok. So I've been working on it.
Anytime anyone says something and it slightly hurts my feelings, like the kids like have a get me moment, I'm like, damn. But you didn't have to say that out loud. Inside, it's that emotional damage.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know. Somebody just said in the chat, some people think an emotional reaction means their partner cares. That's not, though. It means that their partner is emotionally immature and is not able to handle what they're feeling in the moment. I don't know. I don't fuck with that. I think that they need to sit down and have a real conversation about what she needs. And I think that she needs to do some introspection as to why she feels like she needs to have somebody scream at her. Maybe they need to experience some dom sub funny business in the bedroom, get it out of her system so that she can live a normal life for the other, 22 hours of a day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think maybe a conversation of what love looks like for each of them.
Yeah.
Like, what do you need to feel loved?
All I can think of is that TikTok where there's two types of wives and the chick's holding a pan and she's flipping pancakes in the aisle and the other one's standing there swinging the frying pan like a baseball bat. Yep.
Any final thoughts on that?
I got nothing on this one. I got to be honest. This was not a fun thing for me. All I can think of is that chick has a whole lot of shit she needs to work through.
Yes.
You know that just hearing that makes me think that she has no self-worth. Because people who believe that they have value or self-worth don't let people talk to them like that. Like, if you respect yourself, everyone's going to respect you. You're not going to tolerate less than from people. I don't know. Just my thoughts.
All right, next one. I need y'all's opinion relationship. Oh, this is just one page. So this girl and I have been dating for 6 months, and we have a pretty good relationship going on so far, and we have a lot of communication between the both of us. So we don't have issues with talking about things that come up and upset me or her. We sit down and talk about it the best we can until a solution is made and a plan of action is set in place in case the situation would happen again. That sounds dope as fuck, right? So today my girlfriend and I are at work on... Oh, that's supposed to say separate. Okay. So maybe? Decrepit? Is that the word?
I don't know what it says. You're the one reading the email, babe.
I hate that we can't cut this, but can you come look at this word for me?
It's the jacket. It's making your brain not
Right?
Depreciate.
Depreciate? Okay. That's not how that's
Although
spelled.
that should have said are working on separate duties.
So I'm not...
Deprecate? I don't know.
Okay.
7th grade education. Don't ask me shit.
Words are hard.
The English language is hard. Mm-hmm. We don't even fucking speak English here. We speak American.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
It's not the same. No. Shout out to my people from the UK. They'll tell you.
All right. She is working with a male, and I am working with a female. My girlfriend understands that me being a heterosexual male, 22 years of age, am attracted to females, but would never break the trust we've established. So my work partner
Wait. What?
Right.
Why?
Right. I was like, okay, I have to read the next sentence and see where this is going.
Okay.
That gives me the vibes of like he's actively looking at other women in front of her, liking thirst traps on Instagram.
Yeah, and being like, but babe, I'm a man.
Right.
I'm attracted to women.
I go to bed with you. That's just the feeling it gives me. So my work partner being female means nothing, especially since she is a homosexual female. However, the male my girlfriend was working with that day, we used to joke around and call it one of her boyfriends because he would always act like he wanted to have a night with her. What?
Did she reciprocate that? Because they are putting ownership of his woman on that dude by claiming that boyfriend status.
Right.
Yeah.
And he's joking with it because he used we.
Yeah. Well, because he's insecure.
Huh.
That's an insecure thing. Men don't do that. Oh, that's your work husband? Ha ha ha. Inside they're like, it's not the same thing. That shit, that's weakness. Because if he was real about his emotions, he'd be like, babe, I'm not comfortable with that shit.
Right.
But you're controlling. No, I'm letting you know that dude has ulterior motives, and I'm not comfortable with that. But babe, I'm at work. I get that. Just know that this makes me uncomfortable. Well, what would you like me to do? I don't know. Mind your P's and Q's. Don't be overly nice. Try not to be flirtatious.
Yeah.
Don't reciprocate that in any way, shape, or form to make him believe something else could happen. There's a whole lot of conversation that could be had there. Yep.
In saying that, he always acted like he wanted to have a night with her.
Indecent proposal.
I could never imagine a man behaving that way, and you're just like, ah ha ha ha, yeah, he wants to sleep with my wife.
That's not how that works.
Even when we were still in the dating phase.
Yeah, that's not how that works.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
So the issue that happened today is she sent me a picture of her wearing his sunglasses, which you normally wouldn't think about. However, in the southern state of Alabama...
Rewind that.
Okay.
Say that again.
So the issue that happened today is she sent me a picture of her wearing his sunglasses, which you normally wouldn't think about.
Yeah, that's there's a big boundary being crossed right there. Big boundary being crossed.
Explain why.
Because it's an article of clothing.
Someone's personal item.
Right. Maybe it's me because I collect sunglasses, but like I don't share my sunglasses. If I loan a pair of sunglasses, I don't want them back. They've been on your slimy, greasy ass face. Like, that's gross. Be like, if you were like, hey, can I borrow your hat? Be like, no, you can have it. I don't want it back. That's yuck. You don't loan your clothes out like that. Hey, can I wear some of your underwear? Like, that's the equivalent of that to me. And for her to take a picture of it and send it to him like, hey, look, we're flirting. That's how I would view that whole situation. I would
Look
be
at how
bothered
cute
by
I
that.
am in somebody, in another
And
man's.
another man's. Yeah. Yeah. Can you send me another one in his arms so that I can see what it looks like? Because I'm packing my shit right now.
Yeah. Okay. Any final thoughts before I jump back in?
I could do this all day. I'm well rested. I slept in today, guys.
You did.
I had coffee and an energy drink and a good phone call with Matrix Hormones. My panel is perfect. All the
Holy
way
shit.
across the board right now.
My man.
That's dope.
So, yep.
I love that for you, babe. However, in the southern state of Alabama, if a female were to take the hat off your head, it would mean that she is interested and would like to go home.
It's not just Alabama. That is a southern thing. Yeah, you go out to a bar and a woman puts your hat on her head, you're banging. That headboard's gonna be. Yeah. Gonna need one of those little metal ratchet straps to hold it in place.
Down here we call it, if you try on the hat, you got to try on the cowboy.
Yep.
Yeah. So when she sent me a picture of her wearing his sunglasses, I took it as a sign of disrespect because it's similar to taking a man's hat. I told her that I felt disrespected, and she was shrugging it off almost as if I was overreacting.
Okay, so let's pause there and discuss that. You go first.
Red flag. That is the kind of behavior that women, not all women, but some women are perpetuating of, I know if you did something like this, I would have a problem with it, but he's just a friend.
So how should that have been handled on her part?
On her part, it should have been, why do you feel disrespected?
I'm going to go a step further.
Okay.
I'm sorry that you feel that way. As your partner, I know this now bothers you. That shit won't happen again.
Right.
That's it. Well, he's just a friend. Oh, blah, blah, blah. Overreacting. None of that matters. What matters is your person is feeling a certain way. They're telling you they feel a certain way. That's the conversation that needs to be had. When things calm down and the emotional aspect is gone, the conversation can then be had. Hey, I know that you felt this way when this happened. I'm sorry that it went that way. And then you can have a conversation moving forward like, would have you felt the same way if it was their hat? Or, what are some of the other things that are a problem for you so that I know what to look out for in the future? Like, if I was trying to hide it from you, I wouldn't have sent the photo. Like, there could have been a whole lot of dialogue that happened afterwards, but in that moment, by going, they're just blah, 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 or I was just blah, 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 you were
Sun were in my eyes and he offered.
you were invalidating what your person is feeling and basically telling them, hey, I know that you feel this way because you just told me, but I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Get fucked. That's what I hear.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I'd go blind.
Lorna said, what are you going to do about it? Love that. I really want to put that on a t-shirt. I just don't think it'll sell.
What?
Why?
What are you going to do about it? Because I think that people are going to take it as an aggressive, like, what you going to do about it?
Yeah.
I mean, no, like, you're the problem. What are you going to do about it? My hat bill is like, it came slightly crooked, and on camera, I can see that it's slightly crooked. And it feels like somebody sat on my hat, and it's driving me fucking nuts. It's a brand new hat.
It is a brand new hat. And I know that's something you're going to obsess over.
I have been. That's why I keep taking the thing off. Sorry.
Back into the email?
Yes.
Okay. But I see it as she wears my clothes because she's my girlfriend and she loves to wear my clothes to advertise I'm hers and she is mine.
That's not why they do that, but okay.
Elaborate.
How's that jacket smell?
Like you.
There you go. There's an intimacy in that.
Yeah.
It's not to showcase. If you need something to show, like, hey, I'm owned, put a ring on the finger. Mm-hmm. Spend some money. Them wearing your hoodie is a comfort thing. There's your scent. Like there's a primal aspect to that. I don't view that at all as showing off that you're with somebody because you're wearing their clothes. I think there's a deeper emotional thing there.
I agree. I can see both perspectives. The one that you just gave is the mature adult
You
perspective.
calling me old woman?
No.
Okay, just making sure.
Even if you were, I can't wait till your beard's all white.
It's
so
almost there.
What are you going to do?
It's filling in. See this?
I love it. I know you hate it.
So much.
I know.
I thought about dyeing it just to see what I looked like when I was 20.
I'll dye it for you.
No.
Get some henna or something.
No.
Fastest
Just put some red
no.
clay in it. We'll call it a day.
Known you a long time. That was the fastest no I've ever heard you say.
Yeah, I ain't doing that.
The advertising, the girlfriend wearing the hoodie is very much late middle school, high school vibes of the cheerleader
I could see
girlfriend
that.
getting the hoodie of the jock, and
Yeah, I don't miss any of that shit.
me either.
At all. But he gave me the class ring and jacket. Oh wait, do they even do that anymore? Are class rings and jackets still a thing?
Yes,
You
when
wanna
I
look it up real
graduated.
It's been a long fucking time since I was in school.
When I graduated, I had my class ring, and I got letters for my jacket. Never got the jacket, and I lost my class ring in Paris.
Damn.
Yeah. Oh man, now I'm sad all over again.
That's funny.
I love that ring. It had jazz band and marching band on the two sides, and it was like a starburst sapphire in the center. Yeah. So the sunglasses to me was an article of clothing from another man that she willingly accepted and put on while I was not around her to understand the whole circumstance as to why she had them. What do y'all think? Was I overreacting, or do I somewhat have a point here?
I think you both have a point there. Mm-hmm. I think they both have their argument.
Right.
It's not. I don't think that either one of them are right or wrong. I think that her doing that in general should be frowned upon. Mm-hmm. But if she doesn't know that that's a problem for you, you can't get mad at her.
Yeah. If it's not been a discussion before.
This is why you court.
Correct.
And then date. This is also why you find people that have similar morals and values as you. Because if you find somebody that's on the opposite end of the spectrum with what is okay and what is not okay in your belief system, these kind of arguments are going to happen constantly. Because they're going to see the world very differently than you see the world.
I'm going to go ahead and skip. Goodbye.
I heard it right before it flipped away.
Bye-bye.
All right, next email.
Hang on.
Yeah.
I just looked over and saw something and now I have to... Oh, it's been deleted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She was offended
By me calling her woman.
Yep.
Right. I saw somebody said that... Sabrina actually commented, said that she stated in numerous episodes that she loves being called woman by Chris and Chris only.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I was looking for, the original comment.
I love it. I prefer it over babe,
Oh,
baby.
people are butthurt over the way that we show affection.
Not sorry. I love being called woman.
Oh, man.
All right, next email. What more can I do?
A lot, woman. You can do a lot.
I strive every day to. Hello. Are we still chuckling?
Yeah, I'm good. Go ahead.
Okay.
I'm good.
I love that you're your own comedian, and by proxy, I get to have like a free comedy show every day of my life.
It's so hard for me to not say shit. Like, because I like dark humor.
Right.
Right? I like things that are super inappropriate that's going to just piss everyone off. I find the shit very, very funny.
Right.
And it took everything I had not to start making very inappropriate sexist jokes about like why your feet are smaller than men's. And like, I just really wanted to just be a fuckface just now because it's funny to me, but I know that
Right.
it'll get us demonetized and kicked off YouTube.
That's a good call.
Yeah. So I was laughing at myself because I still told the joke to myself and I found it funny.
I love that for you. Hello, my husband and I are not officially married. In the eyes of the law, we would be considered, like back in the day, a common law marriage.
That still exists.
Can you explain that for the people who don't know?
Common law marriage is if you, well, it depends on where you're at, but like and I was told in New Zealand, if you live with somebody for 2 years, it's common law marriage. You need prenuptial agreements where they can take half your shit kind of thing. I think in Florida, it's 7 years is common law. No, it's not.
We don't have one.
They don't have it?
Nope.
Huh. Well, I stand corrected. I thought it was 7 years in the state of Florida, but there
Kentucky,
are.
though.
What's
7
that?
Kentucky is 7 years.
Okay. So there are states that are considered common law where if you live with somebody for 7 years in the eyes of the state, you're married because you've been living as a married couple the entire time. But it's not, I don't know how binding it is in the States. I know that it is in New Zealand, but here, I don't know. I think that if you've lived with somebody for that long and you're not married yet, there's a reason for it. Like,
Yes.
there's fears of commitment, fears of losing your shit. Like, maybe the love's not really there. Somebody's waiting on a level up, but that's all speculation.
Yeah.
In Scotland's, it's 5 years.
Isn't New Zealand like 2 years?
Yeah. Yep. Oklahoma acknowledged it. I filed taxes over there when I stayed there, and they said we were married in their eyes.
Nothing like the government.
9 years in Utah. I don't know for sure. Oh, wow. Sometimes having the chat going is pretty dope. Other times it's a big fucking distraction.
FS means for sure.
For sure.
I thought it was fuck's sake.
That would be FFS. For fuck's sake.
Okay. Noted.
That's okay. Every time I saw FPS,
Yeah.
frames per second, I always thought it said first person shooter. Yeah. And I was like, I need that monitor. It's first person shooter. I'm kidding. I was like young when I thought that, but people are dumb. I was one of them.
Into the email. Recently, I broke a bond of trust that has caused my husband much doubt. Due to the nature of the betrayal, I'm a liability.
I'm curious if she sees herself as married in God's eyes too, or just the states.
Oh, that's a good question.
Because to refer to him as a husband under common law marriage is not the same thing as actually having a committed, like, covenant.
Right. Because it's two different mindsets.
It is. It is. Absolutely.
Definitely
Absolutely.
two different mindsets.
That's the difference between I want to spend the rest of my life with you and I'll get a discount on my insurance and taxes. That's what that sounds like to me.
It does, kind of.
That's the difference between a woman who makes you gravy and biscuits from scratch or you going to Bob Evans and getting some pickup because she ain't cooking for you.
No more full night of sleep. For
Where's my biscuits and gravy, woman?
Would you like it a second night this week?
Yes. I could eat biscuits and gravy every night.
I'll
I would just get
Instacart when we're
so
done.
fucking fat from that. So fat.
Okay, so are we doing it or are we not doing
I don't know what we're doing. I'm just here for the ride.
I had biscuits and gravy the other morning from wherever we went.
It was gross.
It was so bad. And I
Yeah.
was like, it's not mine.
You're like, I ordered gravy and biscuits. I'm like, sucker. That was the morning that I got those really good pancakes.
It was. My hash browns were okay. They only kind of tasted like chemicals.
Only kinda?
Only kind of.
Just a little bit?
I mean, the cheese and the pepper masked a lot of it. So.
Yeah. It's funny how that works.
I hope this person divulges what they did that makes them a liability. My actions create a need for his space to contemplate the longevity of our relationship. I am devastated and feel like it's over. The damage I caused was catastrophic and detrimental, yet he still has hopes.
That doesn't make sense.
Right? I hang on. He is just requesting time to see if the consistency of my conscious efforts over the last 8 weeks are permanent or temporary.
So he put you on probation. I'm going to need you to go see HR. This isn't working.
I don't understand. There was so much said there. Like, what was it that you did? Did you have an affair for 8 months? Did you emotionally cheat for 1 day through a text message and he caught it and you came clean? Like, why are you looking at me like that?
Because I think that this is another one of those emails that doesn't matter.
Yeah.
If you're going to forgive somebody and you want to move forward, you have to let that go. The moment you forgive them of what's going on, you can't bring it up anymore. If you've decided that things are going to move forward, it needs to move forward. If you're still feeling it and something triggers a thought and makes you feel bad, you can have that discussion like, hey, this just happened. It triggered that thought in me. I need a few minutes to process. And then you go process and do your thing and then come back. When you throw something in somebody's face over and over and over again, you are making them pay for that crime over and over and over again. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way in marriage. It doesn't work that way in faith. And it doesn't work that way in the prison system. Once you've been sentenced, you've been sentenced. If you're willing to forgive and move on, you need to forgive and move the fuck on. You can still feel and still process. That is very much a normal thing, but you can't make them pay for it over and over and over again. At some point, they're going to go, okay, I'm tapped the fuck out. I filed bankruptcy. I got nothing left. If you're still going to feel that way, I'm out. I've been trying to make amends for the last 8 months, 8 days, 8 years, 8 weeks, whatever. I can't keep doing this. I'm not going to keep reliving this moment over and over and over again because you haven't forgiven me yet. I have moved on. I've tried to heal. I've tried to help. I've tried to be emotionally supportive. I've given you full access to everything. When is enough enough? Like, so I don't know what they did. They didn't say what they did wrong. So,
Right.
The severity of what that is could be really minor to us or it could be drastic.
Right.
But my answer is still the same.
In the past, it's usually a temporary fix because I allowed my mental health to convince me I wasn't capable.
Okay, wait a minute. In the past, it was temporary. So this isn't a one-time fuck up. This is a reoccurring fuck up. That's a very different conversation.
I don't understand.
Read that sentence again.
In the past, it's usually a temporary fix because I allowed my mental health to convince me I wasn't capable.
Right.
So I don't understand.
So whatever it is that they've done that has created this rift between the two of them has happened before.
Because I wasn't capable.
It was a temporary fix, which means it is a repetitive process.
Okay.
So they maybe fixed whatever was wrong for 8 weeks or 2 weeks or 3 weeks or a month.
Like they're falling back into
and then they go right
behaviors.
back in their old behavioral patterns and systems repeat themselves.
Okay. My husband has always been supportive of me. He constantly reminds me of how talented and capable I am. My negative, intrusive thoughts say otherwise. Ever since this past 5-month-long manic episode, I've been telling myself if he believes in me and tells the truth, then he's right even though I want to think otherwise. I'm diagnosed with bipolar 1 disorder, OCD, and generalized anxiety. Okay. Ever since this past 5-month-long manic episode, I've been telling myself, if he believes in me and tells me the truth, then he's right, even though I want to think otherwise.
Sounds to me like she's allowing the name tag of her disorders that she's wearing so proudly on her T-shirt is dictating the way that she's living her life.
Yeah.
That's a long time to be in a manic episode and not do anything about it.
It really is a long time.
Choice Theory by William Glasser. Read it. The behavior things that you're doing right now is a choice. It's a decision.
It is. It's a constant daily battle with myself to get normal everyday tasks complete, which is all he asks of me. He literally does, willingness as our provider, everything to fill in because he wants to. I've never had to repeatedly ask him to do anything. I'm the one he used to nag over. I was the slacker. I was washing dishes and keeping up our home. I know washing dishes and keeping up our home isn't difficult and upset with myself. And I get upset with myself for taking this long to get on the ball. I've suffered with thoughts of going through self-checkout in the past. I felt like a burden, but was assured I wasn't. Well, I became a burden for him. My actions became overwhelming, which was highly stressful for him. I promised to unalive myself if I ever, in fact, became that burden I always thought I was. You become your thoughts.
Yep. You absolutely do.
You really do. And those times where he was telling you that you weren't a burden, you weren't. Obsessing over being a burden, though, and constantly being anxious and worked up and super emotional, and you can't process what you're going through, eventually will become a hindrance to somebody else because all of their energy now needs to be directed to you versus what they need to get done in their own personal life.
Yep. Here's another thought. He's enabling her.
Okay.
He is. Everything that he is stepping up and doing, now taking care of the house and making sure that everything beyond what his normal scope of duties are that he's doing is enabling her to do less, to be able to sit around and feel sorry for herself and mope and live in that anxious anxiety and not have to do anything. This is no different than isolating. It's no different than not taking a shower for 4 days, because you don't have a reason to. People who are super depressed who still have to go to work normally will shower before they go to work because they're afraid of how they're going to be perceived. Guilt and shame, right? We talked about that hard with Rick. So even though they're depressed, they'll still take care of their hygiene because they have to go around other people. When I'm depressed and I don't want to do shit, I'll go 3 or 4 days if I'm not leaving the house without taking a shower. You have to be like, all right, babe, get your shit together. But I have to have somebody to hold me accountable in those moments. And by him not holding her accountable and letting her feel the way that she's feeling, he's letting it get worse. When you're going through your shit and you're like, I'm super depressed today and it's 9 o'clock and I'm like, come on, babe, we have things to do. I need you to get up. And you get up and you start working and not necessarily working, but working through your day. By 3 or 4 o'clock, I'm like, how you feeling? You're like, a little bit better. Yeah, because you're not laying in bed feeling sorry for yourself. You started getting active. You realize that there's kids to take care of and you have a life and a husband, a business. There's a reason for that. You can't isolate. You can't lay around feeling sorry for yourself because all that's going to do is make things worse. I don't know.
Hearing that I became my worst fear ended up giving me the will to live. I didn't want to die any longer. I created a family I never had, but always wished that I did. I couldn't give up on them if they didn't give up on me. He wants a woman I never thought I could be, the great woman behind a great man, a partner and a companion. Okay, if that's truly how you felt about yourself, why would you get married?
Common law. They're not married.
Well, then why get into a long-term relationship with somebody? If you truly believe that you cannot be a great woman behind a great man and you believe you're with a great man, you truly believe that you cannot be a partner or a companion, why?
Because she has somebody to take care of her. She's able to lay around and feel sorry for herself and not have to clean up after herself and not have to work and not have to do anything because he's taking care of all of it. This is a victim mindset and it's him enabling. It's no different than a woman taking care of a man who doesn't work.
Right.
The workless need an enabler for that to be a thing. Otherwise, they have no choice but to take care of themselves.
Right.
It's why men who are in the workless scenario will get a job, hold it for a little while, meet a woman, move in, and then quit fucking working. And 3 years later, he hasn't had more than, a 6-month job the entire time because the woman is taking care of him. I know that that's an extreme opinion of this, but I believe that shit. People will allow people to give and give and give, and they will take and take and take until there's no longer anything left to take. And then they'll either step up and take care of themselves and do what they need to do to survive, or they will find somebody else to continue to enable them. It happens with drug addicts. It happens with sex addicts. This is a behavioral trait. I believe that. And for them to be common law married means that I mean, I don't know how that works. I guess maybe I shouldn't even say that because I don't know if the common law marriage means that she could take half of his shit if they were to ever separate. But I got to be honest, if I was common law married and somebody was calling me their husband or their wife and they weren't living up to those duties, I'd put a stop to that. I'd be like, we're not married. Don't call me that. You don't perform the duties of a wife, and I am performing the duties of a husband. And you haven't earned that title. You don't get to call yourself married. Like I would, and I don't care if that's harsh or like overly done. I feel that like full chest.
Yeah.
Is it working again?
Yeah, it's up.
Kim said, I'm trying to teach my kids now not to have a victim mindset. Good luck. Because it's not just victim mindset anymore. It's victim Olympics. Because now everybody wants to outdo everybody else with their victim and their trauma. And it's not just about being the best version of you. Now you compete with poor me, pity me. I hate that shit. Really wish my hat wasn't crooked. Driving me nuts. I'm going to have to wear my cock hat tomorrow instead.
I have a thing I'll bring you to fix it.
Yeah. Oh, you got one of those little hat cages? Love that. Little heat gun.
Yes, sir.
Make the bill perfect.
Got to look crisp.
I was raised to accept the minimum, to allow disrespectful behavior, and settle for what I deserved, which wasn't the goddess he treated me as. He and I started with me stuck in a marriage to a narcissistic man that my mother refused to help me out of. I was lonely and most of all seeking a friend, but at the time he didn't want an attachment emotionally, just physically. We became friends, opened up about our lives and experiences. We fell in love, yet waited until completely sure it was reciprocated. Okay. I have had a rule since I started dating at 18 years old. If I wasn't in a committed relationship, I wouldn't kiss on the lips. A kiss for me was passionate and intimate.
That sounds like prostitution.
Yeah, that was my first.
That's actually a thing.
It is, yeah, for women of the night.
I'm having a really hard time with this email.
Yeah.
My politeness is getting ready to go out the window.
Okay. Do you want to?
Nope, we'll keep going. I'm just letting you guys know that you guys may see a side of me that you haven't seen since episode 32. It's there. I can feel it stewing.
Remember that thing I said about soul soup?
It's bubbling. That stew is boiling.
Yeah, I got put some crushed red peppers in there.
Will that make it spicy? Will it be a spicy soul soup?
Why is it spicy?
Why is it so spicy?
I love you.
I love you too.
You're fucking better.
Or what, woman?
I don't know, man. Oh, that was really uncomfortable for me.
Yeah, it didn't work for you, huh?
I'm going to do absolutely nothing about it.
That feel more natural?
Yes, it did.
I
A
could
lot
tell.
more natural.
I could tell.
Yeah. A kiss had meaning and was a major expression of love in my eyes. He waited nearly 6 months until he told me that he loved me and we wouldn't deny our strong feelings. We fell in love, having never kissed. To him, he was not in a position to be a provider for me. He thought I deserved. He also didn't meet my children because my ex would have used it against me. He took me once, ready to look at an apartment with room for his son and my girls in the loft of our room. Did that sentence make sense to you? Continuing.
Did she just say that they got together and moved in without him ever meeting her kids?
He did all of this still before meeting them, so yes. That was the very last sentence of that paragraph.
Okay. Wonder how that played out. Wonder how that would play out. You guys get way too comfortable with having your kids with strangers.
Yes.
Like, there should be a whole lot of integration that needs to happen there. What if this dude was really not a good parent and all of a sudden you bring your kids? What if this dude was a baby raper? And now you're bringing your kids around and he has full fucking access to your kids and you didn't know it because he's never met your kids and you get to see how he interacted.
There are actually men who have come forward that say that they specifically look for women who don't have a timeline on them meeting their children because it's such a prevalent thing and they have unlimited access to kids because the moms don't care. Yeah. I'm uncomfortable. My sternum's itchy. I'm glad we're getting that guy on the podcast.
Me too. Me too. I actually stitched one of his videos today on TikTok. I'm shadow banned. Again. Yep, my videos are only getting like 2,000 and 3,000 views on them.
Wow.
6,000 on a good day.
You're not even popping up when I'm looking.
Really?
Yeah, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
He wanted them to have their space, but close if they needed us. He did this still before meeting them. On my end, we lost trust due to a mental breakdown regarding my ex. I was embarrassed, and the girls and I ended up couch hopping. Eventually...
Whoa. We are not skipping by that.
Okay.
My girls and I ended up couch hopping.
Yeah.
So the man that you were in love with has never met your kids, but you were staying in other people's houses with your kids on their couch.
What if it was family?
What if it was?
Okay, well, I'm just asking.
What if it was that uncle,
Right.
but she had nowhere else to go?
Okay. Thank you for the clarification.
This fucking email's pissing me off. I'm going to get another energy drink because that's really what I need right now is a whole lot more caffeine.
Can you get me one too, please?
Would you like an orange one?
Yes, please.
I don't care what you want, woman.
You're still going to bring me what I want.
I am, no. It's because I'm a giant fucking simp. Who really wears the pants in this relationship? Who wears the flannel in this relationship?
You do.
Okay.
Thank you.
damn.
Make me
dude.
believe it. It doesn't have to be true. I just need to believe it.
Oh, my purse isn't here. I don't have a straw. Nope, it tis what tis.
I don't think I have one here either. We need to leave a cup here for you all the time.
For me?
Yep, so that you always have a straw.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Right? Big brain shit. M. Jessica said, I think she would have specified family, right? I agree. She would have said I stayed with my
Maybe.
family, not couch hopped.
I have a confession.
What's that?
It absolutely infuriates me when you do that.
I know. I can tell. Kids love it, though.
I start twitching and shit. I feel it reverberating in the back of my skull.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I can't help it.
I know. That's why I just sit by and let you enjoy your moment.
You know when Sheldon knocks on the door and goes, Amy, that's me with the sodas. I have to every time. It just, one of those things.
Back into the email. Eventually, we landed in a rundown motel or a shelter. He never gave up. Even though we both physically didn't see one another, he always kept in contact. He took all of his time becoming the provider I needed, but then I was embarrassed I wasn't the person who deserved that level of love and commitment. Okay. I wasn't the person who deserved that level of love and commitment. And she was embarrassed by that, right? I'm going to break things down a little bit.
Can you go back and break it down a little bit further? Can you go back like 2 sentences?
2 more sentences. He never gave up.
Nope, one more.
Eventually, we
One more.
landed.
One more.
Are you going to put me back up to the top of this email?
I don't know. To the staying in shelters, that part.
That's what it is. Okay. I was embarrassed, and the girls and I ended up couch hopping. Eventually, we landed in a rundown motel or shelter.
Right. Okay. Can we break that down?
You would like to. So I'm going to take a sip. That was a kiss of calming energy.
Nope, I'm not doing it. Just we can just move on. Because I'm going to hurt feelings. I'm gonna enhance my calm, John Spartan.
Okay. Okay. So I'm going to break down the embarrassed that she was not the person who deserved that level of love and commitment. Embarrassment is something that you choose to feel. I do shit all the time that a lot of people are like, oh my God, I would never do that in front of an audience.
Like the snot rocket tissue papers?
Yeah, like when I just shoved it up there on that Patreon Live. Yeah.
Yeah. Or the when you're like,
Yeah, that got some
I almost
That's
didn't,
distance.
behind
I didn't
it.
even want to edit that out.
no,
I didn't. I wanted to leave it in, but
should have made a clip. Blooper reel.
okay. Ooh, we should do that.
We do.
yeah.
We have blooper reels.
Okay.
Do we really have blooper
All right,
reels?
Yeah,
I'm
I have a
making-
whole folder of them on the
Oh,
drive.
man.
Oh, they're on the drive. Okay, I was like, I haven't seen any of them. I want to watch. So people can make fun of you for things unless it hits a nerve for you. You're not going to give a fuck.
Right.
So how does one work on, because that embarrassment is tied to her self-worth of being the level of person for that love and commitment, right? That's a really shitty place to be mentally. And being in that mental place, that's trickling down to your children.
For sure, as they were in a shelter. Because she, for whatever reason, couldn't let the man that she's in love with
Right.
meet her children. Because he obviously had a place to stay, and had she just gotten past whatever was going on with an ex, somebody who's no longer in her life, her babies wouldn't have had to sleep in a shelter.
Yeah. This is the kind of self-work that needs to be done before getting into a relationship, especially before having children. Hurt people will hurt people. And until you're willing to face the fact that you hurt people and start remedying the things that you do, you are going to be in a continuous cycle of, why is this my life? What did I do to deserve this? I'm a piece of shit.
Can we just pause for a second and talk about people that are no longer in your life?
Yeah.
I don't care who they are. You don't owe anyone anything, right? So if you have an ex or a relative or even a fucking parent that is not decent to you, you're not obligated to stay there. This whole bond of blood nonsense is bullshit. People should earn the right to be in your life. So if you have an ex and that ex is making waves, remove them. What the fuck do you owe them? And if they're parents and there's like court orders and shit, that's a different subject. But you can go to court and be like, hey, this is an unsafe person for me and my children. I would like supervised visits. There are things that could be handled in that scenario as well. If you decide after being with somebody that you no longer want to be with them, it doesn't matter if it was yesterday or 6 years from now. You don't fucking owe them anything. Right. That life is over with. Would you like to maintain some sort of semblance because this person meant something to you in your past? Absolutely. But you have to fucking earn that. It's not given just because they were there. Because if it was worth it to just be given because they earned that, because they were there, you would still fucking be together.
Right.
I'm infuriated by this email.
I can tell.
There's babies involved.
Yeah. Eventually, I got the strength to reconnect. This time, he met the girls who loved him instantly. I don't believe in that.
I don't either.
I don't believe in that. Children, I would say 10 and under are very much, I mean, no, maybe not 10 and under nowadays. I would say maybe 8 and under are excited to meet new people. And if children have a very tumultuous childhood and they see someone who's nice to them, of course they're going to latch to that person. It doesn't matter
That's why
what they're...
kids are able to be taken so easily.
Exactly. I do little skits with the kids like, I have a puppy. You want to come see my puppy? Like, we are not doing that. And a lot of that shit falls to the wayside. I don't know. Back to this, them loving him instantly. That's what children do. Children are pure love before it is tainted by the world of man.
Did she mean the kids or he or him?
He met the girls who loved him instantly.
Okay.
Yeah. He was more of a father than their bio, which they expressed. My mother hesitated meeting him out of jealousy because we all changed and were enhanced based on his treatment for us. We quickly became a family and moved into the apartment he intended for us. Then we moved into a bigger apartment, and now we are in a home. Not our forever home, but built room by room. A home we felt comfortable and safe in. Now we are ready when the time comes to buy our house for what we are in search of. I mean, based on everything that's being said, this is a super good guy.
I'm going to devil's advocate again.
Okay.
How much of that do you think is because he's filling a need?
Like,
right.
Oh, man,
So
no.
let's forget everything that I said in the beginning of this, right? Let's negate all of that. Let's say that none of that shit was said.
okay.
Just based off the fact that they were bouncing from couch to couch and in homeless shelters. He's willing to step up and play that role, gets her an apartment, and she's like, well, it's either this or homeless shelters. And then she falls into that role, and like he's trying to take care of her and be the best man possible. And she's like, well, now we're going to get a house. He's providing for us. He's taking care of my kids. He's being a better father than the father actually is. She's got it made. So back to what I said originally in the beginning of this email is that he's enabling her and doing what he's doing. It's giving her the opportunity to just not fucking have to worry about shit.
Yeah.
Yep. I hope that I'm wrong in all of this.
Yeah. Did she say how long ago it was when the thing with the ex happened?
I don't know. Your foot's wrapped around that cord, though.
I'm trying to not be.
Okay.
My foot is very uncomfortable right
I know.
now.
You want me to get you something rested on?
That would be dope. Thank you. Let's see, where did it say that? On my end, we lost trust due to a mental breakdown regarding my ex. And he said, there was no specification. It says husband and I, actions. Recently, I broke a bond of trust. Okay. So it doesn't say how recent, but it was recent. Ooh, my hamstring. Thank you.
Just don't jump up when we're done.
Yeah, definitely don't just jump up.
Okay.
All right. I feel like we're on an episode of Jerry Springer with this shit.
This is a lot.
Some Manic Milkshake said, that's what happened to me as a kid. Kindness and interest made me cling to people. It's not because they loved him instantly.
Mm-hmm. So it doesn't say how long they've been together. Person said that there is common law marriage, though. So majority of states, it takes a couple of years.
Right.
So I looked that up. The shortest amount of time. Oh, of course it jumped. Excuse me. Oh, come on. There we go. The shortest amount of time in the United States where it is still recognized. A lot of states have rescinded it, by the way. 3 years, and that is New Hampshire.
Okay. So I don't know if they've mentioned they were in the States, but we're just going to go by the 3 years.
Sure.
So for the last 3 years, she has been in this perpetual cycle of her own making. And just recently broke a bond of trust. So it's been 3 years of this going. And for there to be an 8-week probational period, like this man's fed up.
Yeah.
Okay. He is requesting space. He's providing me another month here to continue showing my change. We are also looking for room, shares, or a spot in a friend's home close by for me to move out. I can come every day and care for our home and children and pet as usual. Holy shit.
Wait, what? How is this in the dumpster fire folder?
This is in the feel good folder.
Okay. She's looking to move out. She's looking for a place
Without her children.
Without her children.
The children are going to stay in the home, and she's going to come to the home every day and take care of the kids and the pets and then go back wherever she's staying and sleep there.
That makes zero sense to me.
Do you want me to reread it?
No.
Okay.
No, I don't. That makes 0 sense.
Right.
Okay.
I'm going to reread it because now I might be misinterpreting
I'm
this.
going to text Zach.
Okay. I'm just going to reread that, guys. We are also looking for room shares or a spot in a friend's home close by for me to move out. I can come by every day and care for our home, children, and pet as usual. He says I can still spend a couple of nights a week here. He just wants to see if I can remain strong. If I can build myself up to handle the basic necessities.
It's the bare necessities.
Something restities. Hey.
Oh man.
She's separating from her children. That's a fucking problem.
Everybody's like, why would she leave her kids? She's leaving without her kids. This is not okay. What the? Yeah.
I'm hung up on the we part, guys.
The what?
In that sentence, we are looking, like, who's we? Him and her, or?
Yes.
Yeah. Wow.
We are also looking for room shares and a spot.
So he's helping her look for that.
Sounds to me like
Share.
he's done.
Yep.
This is a lot for me to process. This is a lot. Like, the steps that would have to be taken. And there's so many. I feel like fucking Doctor Strange. There's 4 billion possibilities.
And I've seen them all. We lose.
And it's... My fucking train's gone.
Is it because you're picturing me doing this?
So I also looked up common law marriage divorces and how they work.
Okay.
Okay. So there is no such thing as a common law divorce. It means you cannot pick up and go as you please. Okay. In states that recognize common law marriage, these couples go through a divorce just like people who were formerly married. And so that means they could divide their assets however they see fit, but they have to get so if it's recognized as common law, they have to get an attorney. They have to go through all the proper channels.
How do they prove that?
I would imagine skip tracing, mail, you're both on it, whatever. They can go back, utility bills, maybe bank statements.
Right, but you could say we weren't together, we were roommates. Like, they would have to somehow prove that you were intimate. Like,
sure. And
okay.
I mean, I didn't dig that deep into the intimacy and all that other. I was curious,
right?
Because
Yep, I too am curious. I appreciate the digging.
Yeah, man. Someone actually looked up what Stephen Strange said in that movie.
Yeah,
it's 4,605,605. God bless you, chat.
Nope.
Could you imagine if you'd have chucked that and it hit the dingleberry in my throat? I'd be like,
Did you just call your
it's a dingleberry.
I call
punching
it
bag.
I call it a hand-me-down.
I enjoy you guys. This is a lot. Okay, so from her perspective, super shitty childhood. Grew up with super toxic survival mechanisms, got into a relationship with a claimed narcissist. We don't know what the behaviors were because narcissist is such a blanket statement now. I'm just assuming that he would make instances where he would say that didn't happen. You're crazy. Maybe. What was another thing we got off that list?
That's gaslighting.
Oh, gaslighting. Never mind.
Yep.
That was it. Okay, so narcissist. Oh, God. They called Jonah Hill a narcissist for boundaries. Like,
Yeah.
So
well,
what?
Everybody uses that term incorrectly.
So I don't understand. Okay, so I am just going with that he was a full-blown narcissist. Super shitty position to be in. Super shitty relationship to have. A lot of mental damage happening. And now she has 2 children.
Chat's really hung up on the term dingleberry.
Yeah.
I would like to point out the dingleberry is also the lint that gets caught in men's butt hair. So it's it's a multi-use term like narcissist.
Yeah. Clip it.
Sorry. It's a blanket statement. It's just fun. Stop thinking about my dingleberries.
No, I was trying to remember what I was saying, and it's gone.
Sorry.
So back into the email.
It was a good reprieve. I don't feel as angry by laughing so much. That's a good thing.
I'm glad you feel better. I'm also going to credit a lot to my calming kiss that I blew you.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, it was my energy.
Gotcha. Next time I fart and you're like, oh my God, why'd you do that? But I was passing some energy to you, babe. It's calming.
It's just firing you an air biscuit.
I'll fart under the blanket and she'd be like, thank you. And I'm like, what? And she's like, you made it warmer.
I do that.
Oh, fuck. I can't believe people watch us.
Yeah. I mean, here we are.
Well, it's because y'all are genuine. Not complete fuck faces.
I mean, depends on who you ask. Maverick said, I mean, there's a real clinical definition for narcissism. Yes, there is.
I actually just read that, and we did a whole breakdown of narcissism and the degrees that it can be, because everybody at a low level is a narcissist.
Yes.
It's when those narcissistic traits start stacking on top of each other when it becomes a problem.
Right, when it becomes an extreme.
Yep.
Yep.
I remember my train of thought. So she was in a true full-blown narcissistic relationship. She was trauma bonded. She now has children. She got away from the narcissist. Maybe she was worried about him unaliving her, whatever the case was. And now she's really fucking struggling. And there's a dude reaching out who wants to move her in and all these other things.
Could see how there'd be a fear there.
Because of her low self-worth, she doesn't believe that she could take the handout from somebody. Like they genuinely care about her. So she's struggling, trying to make ends meet, recognizing it's not working because she's going from shelter to motel and whatever she's doing. Finally takes the man up on his offer and is now stuck in that cycle of, I hate that I fucking do this. I hate myself. I don't know how to stop it.
All of that is very plausible. If you're in that position where you have a man that's taking care of you and you've experienced all of that, wouldn't you try to do everything in your power not to fuck that up? I would.
Yeah.
So what would the logic be behind that?
So in being with you, this is the first true, like full-blown healthy relationship I've been in. And you will never truly know yourself until you are in a super healthy relationship where you are able to process the things that you've been through or unlearning the survival mechanisms you've had to learn. And a lot of the time you won't even recognize the problem until it comes to the surface. When that happens, you can't dwell on it. You can't have that come to the surface and go, well, there's the confirmation I'm a piece of shit. I'm just a burden to this man. In those moments, you have a choice. Either you're going to adapt that into your personality and just, this is who I am now, I'm miserable. Or you can take a step over and say, okay, this was me. I don't want to be this person anymore. I don't want to be who my mother was, whatever the case is. And there would be a very in-depth conversation of, I don't know what else to do. Like, there are times where I'm like, I don't know how to say this, so I'm just going to fucking say it. And I'm sorry, it's dick. And then after it's said, there's a rebuttal of, oh, well, you could have said it this way. Like, make sure I'm understanding properly. I just learned a new way to describe what I'm feeling.
Right.
Have grace with yourself. And be willing to go through the hurt and, like, sift through the trauma and the damage to be the person that you think, because you said so far you're undeserving. So what are you going to do to be deserving of it?
What you going to do about it?
Oh, my mind went to, what you going to do about all that?
I actually wanted to say something, and I'm going to. earlier I said that you don't owe anyone anything. So when those relationships are over, they're done. Your past is exactly the same way. The shit you did yesterday doesn't matter anymore. You may still have to pay the consequences. That karma or the repercussions of what you did may still come around. But that this was me, this is who I am, I've never healed from it, that's a problem. So like if you are having that, like we just ripped apart this chick's past. It's your past. So what are you going to do about it? Like you are in a position right now where you're thinking about leaving this man and getting your own place and leaving your kids behind. At what point are you going to go, okay, I'm the fucking problem here. Like I have to make changes. I have to start fixing me to be the parent and the spouse or significant other or wife, if you want to believe that you are that, to my husband. Because what you're doing is not working. Insanity is the same thing over and over and over again, expecting a different outcome. You haven't gotten a different outcome. Your outcome has been the fucking same.
Yeah.
It's time to make changes. Like you have the capability of doing that. Your life is a fucking result of every decision you have ever made. And I hate to say it, but make better fucking decisions.
Yeah.
Don't blame your mental health. Don't blame all the trauma and all the shit that you've gone through. This is who I was yesterday. This is who I am today. And this is who I want to fucking be tomorrow. So what do I got to do today to become that person tomorrow? And if you make 1% progress to be that motherfucker tomorrow, you're improving. You are taking steps. The hardest thing about ever doing anything in life is taking that first step.
It is.
You know the hardest belt to get in jiu-jitsu? The white belt. People are like, oh no, it's way harder to get a black belt. How many people do you know don't have white belts? It's because they never fucking start.
Yeah.
Same thing.
He has been my motivation, which is how I changed. Every time I want to quit, I remind myself how hard he's working. If he doesn't get a break, then I don't either. For him to come home relaxed and not another stressful environment. For him to come home relaxed and not to another stressful environment. I want to provide him with solace. I want to motivate him the way he needs, but I don't know how. I was never taught or prepared for this. My only form of motivation is to show him the difficulties for a mentally disabled person to fight the battle within and challenge myself to do and be better.
Should we really just laying on that label?
Hang on.
This email is all over the place.
It is.
Just a paragraph ago, she was talking about they were looking for a place for them to live. And now she's talking about she wants to be the best provider or like stress-free environment you can be. How are you going to do that when you're sleeping on somebody else's couch or possibly in somebody else's bed?
All of this has been covered over the podcast.
Right. At length.
Have you even listened to the podcast? Okay. If I can break the stigma that would motivate him to be all he can and wants to be. If I could break the stigma that would motivate him to be all he can and wants to be. Does that sentence make sense to you?
No, it doesn't. But what stigma is she trying to break? Hers
no
or
idea.
his? Because it sounds to me like he's doing everything he needs to be doing as a man, taking care of your kids, giving you a place to live and working his ass off, and you're not reciprocating that. That teamwork shit has to happen.
Right.
You can only take care of somebody for so long. And I got to be honest, somebody who uses that victim card, this isn't the military. You don't get a stress card in life. The world doesn't give a fuck that you're stressed out.
Mm-hmm.
To blame it on your mental illnesses and to live the way that you're living is a cop-out. I have mental illnesses. You have mental illnesses. We have a successful fucking marriage. We have successful businesses, and our kids are fucking thriving.
Yeah.
We have successful co-parenting.
We do.
And we're both fucked. Like, fucked. So I don't understand how, like, and I understand that there's varying degrees of mental illness. And there are definitely people out there who are cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs far worse than we are. But that doesn't negate the fact that, like, you can do things to change it, even if that means getting to a therapist and fucking getting on meds if that's what you believe you need. What stigma? I don't...
Yeah. But she said the stigma that would motivate him to be all that he can and wants to be. Does he have a stigma about himself? Or I don't... Are you holding a stigma to him? I'm confused. If I can improve myself, not only did I prove myself wrong, but I built up the strength to be able to be by his side, holding him up. To be that great woman, because he is a great man worthy of one. So are there any other words of wisdom or advice on how I can improve?
I am so fucking lost.
Yeah, okay, I'm processing. If you have something to say it, because I need to think.
Did we miss something? Because she
was
literally
it.
just said she's looking for a couch to sleep on. We are looking for a spare bedroom or a couch. You want words of encouragement? Don't leave your husband, because that's how you view this man. You referred to him as your husband, even though you called it common law, which completely negates the actual sincerity of that to me, because you're not actually married. You guys live together, and the state said, hey, congratulations, you've lived together long enough that your life is commingled enough that you are now considered a married couple. There's no vows there. There's no covenant. That's a problem for me. Mm-hmm. But if there was a covenant, would you still be looking for a place to stay? What do you mean? You're trying to be the better woman. You're leaving.
Right.
Sabrina said, how the hell can she be a good woman and leave her children in a completely different home than where she will be staying? Right? Like, there's a whole lot of what ifs and questions about this.
Well, I think that also depends on the situation. Like, if a mom's going to rehab to better herself for her children, context matters.
Right.
In this, oh gosh, I don't know. What if he's the one who's saying, look, I need space from you and I need you to move out so I can figure out what I want?
Right.
At that point, she doesn't have a choice. If she wants to make this work, she's going to have to leave for the 8 weeks.
Yeah, she still has a choice. She still has a choice. There can be a lot of conversations.
Do you think it would be a turning moment for him if she was like, look, I'm not moving out. I want to stay here and fight every single day to make this better?
Yeah. She could hit him with some Wolf of Wall Street. I'm not fucking leaving. Therapy, motherfucker. We're going to therapy. Something. Let's go to church. Go to counseling. Let's find somebody that can help us through what we're going through on a private level, because we're not okay and we don't know how to talk to each other.
Right.
I'm going to devil's advocate again because of something I saw in the chat. What if she's realized that she's that fucked up and he realizes that she's fucked up and is willing to keep the kids because she's fucked up? Like, hey, I'm willing to keep these kids while you go and get your life together because I know that they're going to have a better life with me here than they would be if they went with you.
Yeah.
Hypothetical.
I mean, that could
Pure devil's
definitely
advocate,
be the case too.
But like, yep. I don't know. It's a lot to process. I don't know how this ended up in a feel-good email, because there's nothing in this email that feels good. And maybe it's my mindset, and maybe it's me, maybe it's my mental that's reading it the way that I'm reading it, but I don't feel like I'm wrong in this. I feel like there's a lot of victim mentality and a lot of trauma dumping that has nothing to do with anything. Mm-hmm. And there's not even a real scenario here where we know what the fuck is going on.
Right. There really was nothing divulged. There was a lot of things said, but nothing was said.
Yep.
Okay.
I wonder if people write in just to get their 15 minutes of fame.
Maybe.
That's crazy, because we're not even that famous. Like,
another one?
What time is it?
12:18.
Yeah, we can do another. We have another 40 minutes.
Should I not discuss my relationship with my friends?
Nope. Next. That was easy. Watch the podcast. We've discussed that for a year now. Let's read the email so that we can continue this beratement of stupidity today.
Okay.
I'm going to get a sign. You remember that song, Here's Your Sign?
Mm-hmm. Gotta. TikTok gets spicy if they see shit. You know, I'm seeing a lot. Like, every once in a while I look over at TikTok and I'll see somebody say Jesus loves you. And I was somebody who used to get super offended by that. Be like, bro, fuck you. I don't need you telling Jesus anything about me. But now I'm like, oh, thank you. Like, I try. I hope he does.
I just want to take a second to say what's up to Kelsey, Heather, Jenna, Kim, Jenny, Flores, Logan, Gremlin Girl, Spring, Sabrina, Kayla. The amount of people that I see names in this chat that are here every single fucking time we go live, you guys are the real MVPs. Yeah. Kelsey, Kayla, like, dude, you guys, I fucking love this. Manic Milkshake, I'm recognizing your name is here often now too, just because you have a dope ass name. You guys are awesome.
Okay.
Jason Kirk is another one that I've recognized that I like seeing in here.
Kim CLL.
Yep.
Yeah.
Sarah Smith.
Jessica Piotr.
Piotr. She's like, you got my name right. Yep.
All right. Hey guys, I'm hoping you guys can offer me some advice. I'm engaged to be married later this year.
Jenny said, side note, that email was in the medium folder. It was not in the feel good folder.
It was in the feel good folder.
Maybe this one's in the medium folder?
This one is in the medium folder. That's correct.
Okay.
The one that I just read was 100% in the feel good folder.
She said that one was from April and got bounced around quite a bit.
Okay.
So that was before we had the screeners. Well, before we had all of the screeners.
I'll say I'm not crazy because I double checked.
I mean, you are, but you're thorough.
Have you ever seen that little painting of a bird? And he was like, I calculated the risk and I'm bad at math.
Yeah. That needs to be on a fucking t-shirt.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. I'm engaged to be married later this year. Last year, I lost my mom to cancer. I lost all my grandparents and my estranged father, but mom's passing has been something different. That woman was my best friend. I took care of her for the last year of her life, and I feel like I'm going through the most insane trauma and grief having watched her take her last breath in the hospital.
It's rough.
It is
Being a
super
caretaker
rough.
is hard as fuck.
It is.
And not everybody's built for that shit.
I want to point out that there's also something super beautiful in it. Like there is a lot of emotions and like a lot of letting go and a lot of processing, but that whole process is a really beautiful thing because it's natural. And that I wish, like I hope that I will be able to be there for some of my loved ones' last breath, just to be able to have that moment with them. Yeah. And something that I tell myself about death is that just that it is a beautiful thing. If you guys don't look into like natural burials, and a lot of other countries don't hire people to take care of their dead. They do it themselves. They wash the body, they clothe it, they have the wake in the home for like a week or so. There is, I can't remember what country it is, but I want to say once a year or once every 7 years, they take the dead away from their tombs and bring them into the home and like do the whole thing. Yes, normal reaction. But for them, it's a very intimate remembering them, bringing them back, letting them know that they're not forgotten, keeping their souls alive. It can be a very beautiful thing, and I've found comfort in that. So I just wanted to put that out there. You're looking at me.
It's very hard not to make a Tyler Durden joke.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, no.
I want to know the joke.
Well, there's two of them.
Okay.
I was going to make the whole we are the same rotting, decaying organic matter as everyone else.
Yes.
But I was also going to say when you were like, I want to be able to look them in their eye when they're having their last breath, or however you worded that.
Nice.
All
I
I
just
could
want to be
think
able
of,
to be there for it.
all I could think of is be like, Tyler, I see. I fucking love that movie.
It is a really good movie. It is one of my top 5s now.
It is my number one.
I also like that one with the Scottish brothers.
Boondock Saints. They were Irish.
Irish. That was a good movie.
Right.
It's,
I said, all right.
oh, okay.
I was going to throw something at you again, but this little thing has become a fidget toy because my fidget spinner's at home, and
Now
I've
it's
now
a
destroyed the
projectile.
plastic, and now it's a projectile.
Oh, man. I just smoked. I'm not fast right now.
It will not go over my head. I will catch it.
With my face.
I have the reflexes of a sphinx, or whatever he said.
All right. Oh, I just did the same thing you did.
Yeah, see?
That's just, I guess, a natural progression for us to get back into the email and shut the fuck up.
Yep.
She was the one that I would turn to just to talk and confide in. If I had relationship problems, she was the one that would encourage me and offer advice. With her not here anymore, I find myself confiding more in my close-knit circle of female friends. I should add that I'm a Christian. My faith is very important to me. All of my close friends are Christians as well. Gossip and speaking ill of people is not something we encourage. We try to hold people in high esteem when we talk about others. We pray for each other, and we build each other up. We offer empathy and use the Bible as our guide. The issue, my fiance hates this.
Pause. Kyle Foster sent us a $50 super chat that said, why am I missing lives? Because of audiobooks. Just finished listening to Raising Man by Eric Davis. Chris, thank you for the reference. All fathers should read it. I need another book. P.S. 199 days until my fiance becomes my wife. I love you, Kayla. Give me a little bit, Kyle. I will make a note. I will give you another book recommendation before the end of the podcast.
I love that. He did the little countdown.
I did too.
That's dope.
I do too.
So that's why you paused? Did you have anything to say?
No, I had to read
Okay.
the $50 super chat.
I wasn't sure if that just like happened the same time we ended the sentence. He has heard me tell my friends about our relationship issues. He has heard me make jokes about silly arguments of things we go through. Ooh. Okay. Never once have I tried to tear him down with my words. I am so careful with the impressions I leave of him. He says it's not appropriate to talk about our relationship to anyone else. He swears he doesn't talk to anyone, but I know for a fact he tells his grandma things about us, and that never seems to help his family's opinions of me. Okay. I do see how he has heard me make jokes about silly arguments or things we go through. Something that might seem silly to you could have been a big deal for him. And to keep peace, he kind of just got over it. You apologized for whatever it was. But for him, that could have been a couple of days of working through that due to whatever trauma or issue or memory from the past that he's had going on. That makes sense?
It does.
Okay. I tell my Christian friends... Did I just say Christian?
You did.
The little voice in me goes, cut it.
We're live. Can't cut it.
I know. That's why it's meek and tiny. It has no power here. I tell my Christian friends as a way to build each other up. I tell my Christian friends as a way to build each other up. How does sharing your relationship problems build up your Christian friend?
It does not. Unless she's trying to relate what she's going through with her friends. But if you are, that's invalidating. I made a TikTok about this the other day. Lots of Love actually stitched the video I showed you.
Yeah.
If somebody comes to you and goes, hey, I'm going through something and I need some guidance, and they lay out what's going on and you go, man, I've been there. This happened to me, blah, 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 blah. And you tell your story, you think that you're relating to them. Mm-hmm. You're not. All you're doing is making it about you. You're invalidating what they're going through and they're not getting guidance. If you were to say I had a similar situation and here's how I handled it.
Right.
They don't need to know what your situation was. It could be completely fucking different than what you lived through. But saying I have a similar situation, this is how I handled it, validates what they're feeling. It gives them guidance and then lets them go about their way versus making it about you and then trying to relate to them on an emotional level, because you and I are not going to handle things at the emotional level the same way. No. You could lose a loved one and I can lose a loved one, and we're going to process grief very differently. You could get fired. I could get fired. And you could be like, oh man, I love that job. And I could be like, fuck the world. I'm going to go start my own business, right? Yeah. We are going to handle things very differently on an emotional level from person to person. So if you've went through something, I have gone through something similar, give the advice and then listen. Be silent. Sometimes people just want to be heard. So in that scenario, if your friends need to be built up, listen to them and then pray for them. They're Christians. Why are they coming to you with their problems and not to God? How about that? Yeah. Take that shit to your pastor. Take it to your church group, not to your friend circle.
Mm-hmm. He doesn't care about all the good and kind things I say. He doesn't care that my friends adore him and they're cheering us on. He's focused on me sharing about an argument or venting about frustrations.
They don't listen to the podcast.
They do not. Is he right?
Yes.
Am I damaging my relationship and future marriage? I'm lonely, and I promise it's not my intent.
You are doing all of the above.
I agree.
You are creating a negativity bias with your friends. Doesn't matter how good you tell people. You ever heard the phrase that bad news travels twice as fast as good?
Yes.
So you tell 2 people in your friend group, and by the end of the next day, 20 people in the friend group, the social circle that everybody knows your business. Because if they gossip to you, they'll gossip about you. So when you spread the good news, they don't go, "Oh, girl, guess what he did for her?" That's not that conversation. "Oh, I got the tea. Can't believe he did this shit."
Yeah.
And then that phone call is going to go to another phone call and some text messages, and then the phone game's going to happen, and the stories are going to get manipulated, and it's not going to be the same story that you had on the phone. Like, negativity bias.
Yeah, that's such an exhausting process. I can't relate to that anymore.
Yeah.
You know, I'm thinking about my small friend group, and I can't think of a negative thing that they've ever said about the person that they're with.
Because we don't associate with people that do shit.
Right. And if, you know, we're talking about somebody, it's all positive things. There's not, "Oh, did you hear that this happened?" I don't have time for that. People have learned that you're going to come to me with negative things about somebody else's life, not yours and not mine. I don't want to hear it. Why are you telling me this?
Yeah.
Can you fix negativity bias?
No. I don't think that you can, because once somebody believes that you are a certain way, no amount of convincing is going to change them otherwise. And you see this a lot with people who have had rocky marriages at the beginning, and like they go through their shit and they fix their relationship and their relationship's really good, and the in-law still hates the person they're with because of something that happened 7 years ago. Once you believe that this is who that person is and you're not with them every day to see the changes, you're not going to believe that they're capable of change. Ironically enough, I'm gonna correlate this with weight loss. If you knew somebody that was 400 pounds and you don't see them for 2 years and they're down to 220, you'd be like, "Holy shit, what happened?" You changed. You will always be 400 pounds in that person's mind until they see you again. They don't see the dieting and the weight loss and the cardio and the fucking late night gym sessions and not having snacks and making sure that there's no junk food in the house and our kids are eating healthier. Like, they see, well, he makes bad food decisions, until you see the change. In-laws aren't going to see those changes because you come around for holidays and you hear the phone conversations. And if you're still having problems in your relationship, no matter how small, when you go to the in-laws about it, or the wife goes to the parents or the husband goes to the parents, they're hearing that because they're venting to the people that they feel safe venting to. I don't tell, anytime we have problems, we don't talk about them until they're completely resolved. And then we talk about the resolution of the problem. We talk about how we came to understanding what the issue was so that we can give guidance to those who need it. But like, even when you and I have a disagreement, I don't ever call my mom and be like, "Hey, I need guidance." I don't do that. I pray about it.
Right.
And if I can't figure it out through prayer, then I come to you a week or two later and be like, "Hey, this is really still eating at me. I need to know if this is a me problem. Is this my borderline?" Like, we have conversations about that shit, and we keep it between us, because other people don't need to have a say or an opinion on what the fuck goes on in our marriage. Like, it's ours. The covenant that we made is to each other with God. Like, I don't need to hear your opinion. I don't give a fuck what you think about what's going on in my home. So I don't know. I think that she's very wrong in giving the negative bits to her friends. If you want to give the tea, give the good tea. He ordered me flowers. I got a fruit basket. Motherfucking edible arrangements. You pay me, motherfucker. I just said your name on our podcast. Right? Like, but we do that shit. When you were still working, I'd send you shit all the time because I knew you were the only one in the studio who was getting it. It was partial you, partial Flex to be like, I want my girl to peacock.
Yeah.
I want her to see that fruit basket and be like, come to the front counter and be like, "Don't worry, bitches, it's for me." You know what I mean? Like,
it got to a point where they were like,
"It's
"Peaches,
here. Yeah,
it's
yeah,
here. It's for you."
Yep.
I was there for that.
He was.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, we get it.
Yeah.
It's elevated now, though. It's chocolates and knife sets.
Yes, it is.
I ordered Halloween chocolates that are being delivered today.
I'm very excited.
I did order myself a Reese's peanut butter cup.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah, but it should come in a 2-pack, so I'll share it with you.
Thank you.
What a time to live.
Oh, there was something I was going to say. What was it? No, now I'm focused on the chocolates. Fuck.
That's funny.
Oh, what were we talking about?
Negativity bias.
Negativity bias, yes. Yes. Wow. I'm actually like getting the trains back today. Might be those B12 shots.
For Matrix hormones.
Yes.
Now's a great time to segue into a plug. Plug Matrix hormones, babe.
So guys, if you have thought about getting your hormones checked, you should definitely do it. And if you haven't thought about getting your hormones checked, you should definitely do it. Matrix hormones are partnered with us.
Kind of.
Affiliated.
Kind of.
Go to their website, drop down bar, click the number. Click the little thing to be better. I wasn't prepared for this. They will give you $200 off your first consultation.
Yep.
Down there, they know their shit. Like, very well versed in what they're doing. They surprised Chris.
Yeah. Yeah, a couple times. I actually had my phone consultation with Ken because I did my 8-week follow-up since being a patient, and my labs are perfect. My estrogen was just a little bit high, and he was like, hey, your estrogen's a little bit high. And I was like, I know. I read my blood results. I'm taking my estrogen blocker, a third pill every 3 days. He's like, that's perfect. But all of my labs were flawless otherwise, which is fucking good because before I got through them, my hematocrit was so high that, like, he's like, you need, if you were anyone else, I'd be like, go to the hospital. Like, it was high. But we've also found some stuff with you. Like, the blood results and the blood work is a necessary thing. If you don't know what's going on in your body, it's a problem.
Yeah.
You never know what's underlying. And, like, if you catch that shit early, you can fix it. All right. I'm going to undo the matrix hormone thing.
Okay. I'm still on the train. Have you seen that train in India where all the people are hanging on it? That's what I'm doing right now. Like, I'm Ghost Rider, but with the train. Even in divulging things with your closest people, like a mom, not everybody who loves you has good intentions for you. There are some really bitter people in the world who do not like seeing other people happy. So you might think that you're receiving advice and kindness with love behind it, when behind the scenes, they're just a super malicious person.
Are you saying that misery loves company?
Yes.
No.
Isn't that a song?
No.
Who sings that?
Crazy.
Are you mistaking it for misery business?
Maybe.
It's true, though.
It is. Oh, you're making a note.
I am, because I've been thinking. So, I sold all of the journals. We have 2 left.
Oh, dope.
And part of me wants to keep those 2 journals as like a me thing because they smell good and they're like good, thick leather. But there's a selfishness aspect to that. Like, I would rather somebody else enjoy them because I have mine and it's refillable. So I bought a bunch of these cheap ones to leave all over the place. And I bought new pens because I am a note taker. And if I don't write things down, I'm going to forget. So, like, I'm taking notes. I have Kyle's book recommendations. I'm going to give him 2 instead of 1 because I'm an overachiever. But I also had to make notes about things that we need for the podcast because I've been meaning to buy shit for 3 weeks now and I haven't. And I just remembered while we were sitting here that I haven't bought it yet.
Oh, okay.
So, notebooks for the win.
Smart move. I'm going to end TikTok.
Okay.
Goodbye, TikTok.
That was the most, like, nonchalant fuck off I've ever seen. I'm going to end TikTok. Bye. All right. I'm done.
I'm done too.
Is that the end of the email?
That was it.
Oh, all right. Let's go through some super chats. Sabrina said, when does the giveaway happen? I don't know. I haven't actually gone through and looked at the hashtags yet because I haven't had a day off in a month.
Could you? No.
I will write that down as well. Could I what?
Could one consider that an Irish goodbye? But no, because I said farewell. I didn't just
you did say bye.
disappear.
All right. Let's get into the super chat. Steve, did you send those into Google Chat?
I sure did.
Okay.
I was multitasking today.
Yeah, you were on it. I forgot to ask somebody else to cover the super chat, so it works. All right. Sabrina said, I just finished a 2-book dark romance series. Yes, I know there's a point. Yes, I know there's a point. Part of the plot and story, one of the main characters, he hunted and unalive child predators / traffickers. That sounds like a superhero book. All right. Do you want to read these?
Sure.
Okay. 'Cause
Okay.
I suck at reading things.
From Lynn. Oh my gosh. Excuse me. We have a little sickness running around our household.
Get down with it.
No, Zach left the chat.
Yeah.
He wasn't here for it.
Yeah.
All right. From Lynn. BF believes that me showing gratitude is us having fun time. I show gratitude through acts of service and verbally. If we have a great day and it doesn't end with fun time, then he feels defeated. Thoughts? It sounds like he has a lot of introspection to do.
I'm assuming by fun time they mean like sexy time.
Chicka bow wow.
My boyfriend believes that me showing gratitude is us having fun time.
Yeah.
So in order for you to show gratitude, does that mean you have to put out? Because that's not the same thing. I think you guys need to have a check-in.
Yeah.
And then while you're having the check-in, before you wrap things up, you need to sit down and lay out expectations of what is expected between the two of you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, so what if it's... I don't know. I read that and I view that as like... Okay, now I have a lot of questions. Are you guys not being intimate often?
That's a good question.
So if there's a good day and you guys are like maybe flirting a lot, is that a good day where you guys are
It is
being
for
super
me.
overly
I
intimate?
enjoy those days. Those are fun days.
I know.
And those end with fun time afterwards. There's an anticipation built up, and
Yeah.
like I treat the bed like a bouncy house. It's an exciting time. Everything's covered in plastic. No, I'm just kidding.
We Dexter that shit.
Steve's leaving, ladies and gentlemen. He's had enough of this shit. All right.
No, wait, I'm not done. Don't don't move. Everybody stop.
Nobody move.
Oh no. Okay, right. We're back to it. So good day. Is a good day like you're being overly flirtatious? There's that build up. He's like, there's that he gets home, it's going down. And then at the end of the day, it just never pans out. Because that's a problem.
Yeah.
If there's a hype up of a when you get home, I'm going to devour you, and then never mind, I have a headache, and that's a repetitive thing, that is also an issue.
Yep. Yes, it is.
Also, not a lot there, so a hypothetical. From the hidden, if y'all would make shirts with the text, I do not suffer from insanity. I'm totally enjoying it. I would buy that shit. Also, shout out to the good days and have a great day.
That's Luca.
I know.
Me too. I just felt the need to say it.
From Kim, I'm supposed to tell you guys from Janessa, thank you for saying hi to her on the live on Sunday. She said to make sure I tell Peaches that she thinks you are beautiful and she drew a picture of you.
Should send us the picture.
Stop it. I'll put it in a scrapbook. I feel like I'm a really neat aunt right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're the cool aunt.
From Shorty Shay. Don't fixate. Stop it. My partner and I have read Choice Theory, Love and Apology Language, and Time Management for Mortals. Plus
others. Pluff.
Mike Tyson.
Listen here, Thordy. Plus others off the list. Thank you for the knowledge. That book list is the shit. That Time Management is the 4,000 Weeks. Time Management for Mortals. A really good book. If you haven't yet read Unreasonable Hospitality. That falls into the books that you've read. It is about a restaurant. However, you can implement that into your personal life, and it will absolutely change the way that your marriage dynamic works. Such a good book.
Another one from Kim, sending a super chat to tell people join the Patreon. Go do it. Hurry up. If you haven't already, you're late.
Is there a Patreon button on that Stream Deck?
There is.
Push that, please.
I think. Where'd it go? Boop.
Did it work? Wait.
I pushed it.
Do it again. Boop. There it goes. I have to be in the chat for that. This one just says $1.99 from Angel. There's no text there.
All right, from Dylan. The podcast has made me a better man in my relationship. Thank you for what you do.
I fucking love that. That's the goal, right? It's to be better men.
From Angel Scott. I do that a lot without meaning to, telling people my store and making it seem like I'm making it about me. Oh, telling people my story. Oh, pardon me. and making it seem like I'm making it about me. If it's not okay to do it when someone is talking to you in this context, how do I work on not doing that?
So first, I think it's important to understand that everybody wants to relate, right? Like you want to show that like you have a life experience and that you feel what they're going through and you're just trying to like share stories, right? Like that's normal. We want to have conversations with people.
There's that want for emotional connection.
Right. But you can do that without telling the story. And like you could even still tell the story, but if somebody's going through something and they want you to listen, validate them. I'm sorry that you're going through that. I have been through something similar and it fucking sucks. And then give your advice if you have it. And if you don't have advice and you maybe you need to ask them, like, you want me to just listen? You want me to problem solve with you? You want to work through it. You want to be there for the person because that's what they need. They need you to be there, not to relate to them. I hate to say this because it's going to sound really shitty, but when somebody's going through it, they don't give a fuck what you've been through. They're going through crisis right now. What their panic is or their anxiety or their trauma is theirs in the moment. You've already survived your shit. They are going through it. Be compassionate. Have grace. Be there for them. After you guys talk about it, if you want to share your experience, ask them. I went through something similar. If you'd like me to tell you about it, we can have that conversation, but do that after they've been validated. The validation is what matters the most in that. People don't want to be talked over. If they're in crisis, they need help. They feel like they need help. Help them. It's just a change in thought is all. I don't know.
There's more.
Okay,
That's
yeah. My chat moved.
Another from Kim. Do you want me to send the pic in Discord?
Yeah, you can post it to the playground.
What pic?
Just tag us. The one that her kid drew.
Oh, okay. Yes. From Morgan. Hi, I've been watching In the Shadows for so long, and this is my first super chat. You guys have changed my mindset completely, and I'm so thankful.
Well, we're so thankful for the super
Yeah,
chats.
thank you. And thank you for being a supporter.
Yep. You guys doing the super chats and giving us some financial support means a lot. The best thing that you can do to support the podcast and continue like to see our growth is to share the content. If you find anybody in your life that you think may benefit, give this to them. Send it to their inbox, post it to your Facebook page, share it on Twitter, X, or whatever it is that you do social media wise. It goes a long way. We super, super appreciate that shit. Means a lot.
From Brianna. As the woman, should I step in when my man's father is drunk and disrespecting him, or continue to let him handle it himself? Reoccurring situation.
Ooh, that's a conversation.
How would you want me to handle that?
If I was having an issue with my father who was drunk and berating me and you stepped in, it would make me feel like you just stripped all masculinity from me in a second.
Okay.
I don't need you to defend me. That's my job.
Right.
I would be bothered by that. It would create conflict. When we got in the car, I'd be like, hey, next time something like that's happening, don't get involved.
I would excuse myself. I would walk over, I would give you a kiss, and I'd walk out of the room or wherever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's one of those things that like, if I'm willing to tolerate something, I don't need you telling me otherwise. First and foremost, like that. And that's a me thing. I can understand the want to protect. Mama Bear's going to do her thing. I get that too. But like this scenario, there's a level of respect there. There could be a level of love there. This dude could be like, that's just who my dad is. And this is the relationship we have. There could be a whole lot. I'm not saying that it's right, but that could be why he tolerates what he does. There are people out there who have that, well, he's drunk mindset. He doesn't mean it. He's just drunk. I've seen a lot of people get their ass beat at bars because they think that they're going to get away with things because they're drunk. I think that in this situation, if this is a problem for you and it's a problem for him, when you notice the dad getting drunk, you send your old man a text and be like, hey, it's time to go. He's starting to get belligerent. I would like to avoid a situation tonight.
Yeah.
I think that that's how that needs to be handled, but I don't think that you should step in. I do think, I think on the other foot, the man should step in. If it was a woman who was being berated by a drunk father, the husband should step in.
Right. That's the protector.
Yep. That might be your daughter, but that's my wife kind of thing.
From Baked Danish. Tomorrow I get to meet one of my favorite Forrest Gump characters. Eek, I'm so excited. Then Saturday, more friends. Yay. Wait, you get to meet one of my favorite Forrest...
Jen A.
Oh!
Because she's coming down tomorrow.
Gotcha. Okay, I was like, what? Is there like a convention?
Yeah, it's a To Be Better Tribe convention at the studio.
Crazy. From Gremlin Girl, thank you for your advice yesterday. I truly value everything you both do.
Did you give her advice yesterday? I don't remember. It might have been me. I don't know. You're welcome. Either way.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest. The last month has been a blur.
Yeah. All right.
From Dylan, I'm fairly new to the pod. Is there a difference between compromise and submission?
Yes.
Yes.
Yep. There's also a difference between compromise and agreement.
Yes. Compromise and settling. Not settling. Compromise and lowering a standard.
Yep. So do you want to break down all three of these? I mean, I don't
Yes.
think we have. I mean, we do have more super chats, but so submission is allowing the other person to lead. It's letting them make the decisions. It's giving them a power that they otherwise would not have.
It's trusting their judgment.
Right. There's a lot that goes into that. Submission is not a bad thing. It is if it's given to somebody who does not earn the right to be submitted to. Everyone submits to some degree.
Yep.
Even if it's you submitting to your boss. When your boss says, "Hey, do this," and you say, "Okay, boss."
Right.
You are submitting. Submission happens. The negative undertone to submission is a first world problem. Like that's a social media nonsense. Compromise is no one winning. You guys find a common ground that you kind of both lose on and you just accept it. You don't, we're going to have to agree to disagree and we're just not going to do this thing because blah, blah, blah. That's a compromise. And then agreement is everyone winning. You find something that works for you. I find something that works for me and we are in agreement. Things are going to move forward and we are both winning in the situation. So I think there's definitely a difference and I think the verbiage matters. Yep.
From Bubbles, I just want to say you guys have helped my marriage so much, especially since learning my husband has BPD. So y'all's outlook and context of it had helped me immensely and him to understand it.
Recommend reading the books that are on the book list for BPD.
I'm gonna say
Isabella.
Isabella. Grateful for you both. Have a meeting now. Bye.
Thank you for the super chat. Have a good meeting.
From Alyssa. Do you have advice on how to support my husband who has PTSD, particularly during times where he's emotionally very distant? You have done so much for us already. Thank you so much for all you do.
Do you want this one or you want me to answer it?
In times where he is emotionally distant, don't change your routine of things. Continue doing the back touches, the kisses, the showing the gratitude, the appreciation. He is going through, like, he has like mucking boots on. He's like waist deep in fucking mud in a hurricane trying to get through shit. And you coming around every once in a while, just continuing to be you, is that little reprieve of sunshine in it. And even though he's emotionally distant, that is what's getting him through that storm.
Sometimes simply having somebody there in silence is enough. You don't have to jump on the roller coaster with us. When we're going through whatever it is that we're going through, just be there. If that means being there in silence, being there with the emotional touches, the way that you described it, however you are being there needs to be to support them, support them. Sometimes knowing that we're not alone is enough. That's enough. Like, hey, I don't have to fucking carry this anymore. I can give some of this off and like, I have a partner. You know what I mean? Like, you're right. That's exactly right. That would have been my answer. So we are on par with that one.
From Charlotte, it has become apparent to me that I need to learn how to speak more clear, concise, and direct in many different areas of my life. Any advice? Ooh, wow, my back. What the hell? Oh. My body's failing me. Oh, don't cramp. Stop.
Are you having a lat cramp?
I think so, yes.
That's the worst. There's nothing like having a really brutal back day and then trying to wipe your butt and your lat cramp. I'm going to answer this while you stretch.
Okay, yeah.
So this is one of those things where you have to be responsive and not reactive. When you react to situations, 90% of the time, the first thing that's going to come out of your mouth is fucking stupid. Don't say it.
Yeah.
So stop and think. Sometimes you may have to tell yourself, okay, how can I rephrase this to get my point across more clearly? How can I say this and remove the emotion from it so that I'm not being attacking or disrespectful and I'm just getting my point across? This really does come down to stop and think. Be intentional.
From Logan, I was a victim and never saw any of my own flaws. I was a serial cheater and a liar. Finding the pod helped me turn a 360 in my life and revive my relationship while stepping into my role as a man.
You mean 180?
Yes,
But
180.
but good. This is one of those things that you now have a structure of what you think a man should be, and you are going to have to work for the rest of your life to be what you believe a man is. That shit is never ending. Everybody has an idea of what like the man in their life is, whether it's a role model or whatever. You have an idea like this is the fucking level. And when you reach that level, you're going to find another person and go, okay, that motherfucker is the man. And now you have to strive to reach that level. It's never, you're just never there. Like that's the progression of what we believe a man is. And you'll see it when you watch men go from being the warrior to being the elder, right? Like
Yeah.
you look at tribal life, all the young warriors, the soldiers always answered to the elders because they had the life experience and the patience and things that those young men didn't have. Whether it was a history of what the elders once were, those young men always respect those elders. So that's always going to change for you. So always work for that.
I'm going to touch on that 360 thing, right? So corrected it to 180 because the whole
Right.
thing. What if, because I say a lot, if you just turn your head a little bit, your perspective changes. When you do a 360, you're taking in your full surroundings at that point versus just being blind to 1 degree.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good way to look at it. Your depth of field changes.
What? I get why people follow us sometimes. Oh, I'm supposed to be reading.
Yes.
Jax. With someone who deals with anxiety pretty much frequently, if I don't keep busy, my mind races to worrying. Is there something or is there anything you'd suggest? Get comfortable with thinking.
Yeah. Learn to meditate.
Yeah. I have severe anxiety and I wake up in the morning instantly panicking about everything. You have to get comfortable in that and you have to take a minute, put your phone down and just look at your surroundings and recognize I'm sitting on my couch in air conditioning. The
And
TV's
nothing's
on.
trying to kill you.
Right. I can hear the wind outside and the little birds chirping.
Look up some studies and see what having technology the way that we have it has done to us as a species. Because we're not meant to have this kind of information inundated in our brain 24/7.
Right.
It is overdone. We have higher rates of depression, anxiety, more mental health than has ever existed. A lot of that's our diet, real shit, because of the food that we consume is not food, it's fucking poison. All of that comes down to the food and the technology. So if you were to disconnect for a little while, I'm willing to bet your anxiety and your depression would go away. Stop watching the news. There have been studies done for people who watch the news every single day. They live in fear and panic because that's what they sell you on. That fear is how they sell ads. They want to keep people engaged. That shit matters. What are you
Yeah.
going to say?
Nothing.
Okay.
Maybe I was. I don't know.
You want to read the next one?
Yes. For Morgan, what would you recommend for combining finances when I have some credit card debt and he doesn't? He's worried his money will be paying my debt.
Are you married? That matters.
All right, so what if the answer is yes?
Then he should be paying that debt.
And the answer is no.
Are you living together?
Okay.
Because if you are living together and you are trying to combine your finances, that debt becomes his debt. That's how that works. My credit score personally bounces between 685 and 850, depending on what I've done, because there are times that I'll buy like 3 cars and
Right.
apply for more credit cards and then go use the credit cards to buy Harleys. And like, I do stupid shit with my money, but I never let my credit go below 685 ever, because you never know when there's going to be an emergency and you need whatever. You have your own credit cards. You have your own history from before when you were married and all of that shit that you've been working on. If you were ever come to me and go, okay, I just want to pay this off and be done with it. Cool. Let's do that. You've never once been like that. You're like, I've got it. It's doing its thing. It gets auto debited every month. I don't have to worry about it. It's out of sight, out of mind. Don't worry about it. I'm like, okay, I'm not worried about it. But I've made it a point to put you on all of my credit cards. So my debt does become your debt.
Yeah.
When my credit score goes from 840 to 685, your credit goes from whatever yours is down a couple points too, because you are part of my credit.
Right.
That's combined income. If you are married or you are living together and plain married, or if you're in a common law marriage, So fucking stupid. They just need to get rid of that altogether. That should not even be a thing. That is an insult to what marriage actually is, in my opinion. But if you're doing those things and you're combining your income, your debt is his debt. I don't understand why would he have a problem. Okay, let's break down this verbatim.
Okay.
What would you recommend for combining finances when I have some credit card debt and he doesn't? He is worried his money will be paying my debt. My debt. That doesn't sound like combining finances.
No, it doesn't. I also have another question.
Sure.
Does he not have credit?
Well, he says he doesn't have debt.
Right. But never mind. We have a business. My mindset's different.
Yeah. Welcome to entrepreneurship, bitch.
My apologies.
All right. So in that scenario, even if he doesn't have debt, he has to have a credit score.
Right.
If he has a 0 credit score and you have credit card debt, you technically have a better credit score than he does.
Right. From Blind Bat, I know Peaches is a body piercer. Do you have any reading material recommendations for becoming the ideal apprentice solely for piercing? I already have BBP certification. Love you both.
Are you already a body piercer or already an apprentice? Because you can read and ingest all the things that you want, but until you're actually an apprentice, that doesn't matter.
Yeah. I would piggyback off of that and say there's a lot of wrong information out there too.
Yeah.
I did not do any online research before I started my apprenticeship. I knew basic anatomy.
Yeah. Yeah, that helps.
And I have a good eye for symmetry.
As somebody who has had at least 20 apprentices over the last 25 years of my life, I can tell you that every time somebody has come in with an idea of what they should know before they start, it's a disservice to them. Because you are supposed to be there to learn, right? And if you come in thinking you know more than you do, you are not going to be able to humble yourself enough to actually take in the information that's being had. And there are processes to being an apprentice. There are step-by-step things that work, and they work for a reason, and there's ways that people learn. So, like, get the apprenticeship, become an apprentice, start asking your mentor, what would you like me to learn next? What can I be reading on my downtime to hone my skills? That's the whole point of taking an apprenticeship. If you didn't value the person that you're mentoring under's opinion, you wouldn't be mentoring under them. So that's important to remember.
Yeah.
I don't want a dirty cup. I'm not trying to break habits. I'm not trying to clean up your mess. I want you to be a clean slate so that when I say this is the steps, you go, okay, these are the steps.
Yeah.
Not, well, what about, how come? I want you to understand the steps first. And then once you understand the steps, if you want to understand how we break the rules, it's no different than photography. You learn the rules and then you learn to break the rules to create art, period. So that's my answer on that.
From Maggie, y'all always provoke conversations with my partner and I while working. Now, time to make the boo-boo bus grow wings and fly.
Oh, man, I think we might have created some butthurt today.
Yeah.
I like that, though.
From Brittany, I really appreciate everything you guys have done. Your podcast is the only one I listen to and has changed a lot of my mindset for the better.
Love that.
That's crazy. Like, little old us. From Jessica, love everything you guys are doing. I'm utilizing everything I learn each day and have started using with my kids.
I love that.
That's how you become a healthier parent.
Boom.
From Liz, choice theory, Buddha and the borderline, and I hate you, don't leave me have changed my life and relationship for the better. Thank you for everything you do. I need more books. Book recommendations.
So the book list is on the website. You can download that. One of the mods can give us the book code there. Actually, I'll do it since I'm sitting here talking about it. Oh, maybe not. We have a whole book recommendation. However, with the books that you've read or you've listed, I would check out Viktor Frankl's Man's Search for Meaning. That's a good one. All right, last super chat.
From Dylan, how does one balance being emotionally vulnerable with your partner and being the rock your partner needs when both are facing hard times?
You want to answer that or you want me to answer it? Because I'm going to do a word breakdown.
Okay. Go ahead and do your word breakdown.
This reads as, how does one balance being emotionally weak with your partner and being the rock your partner needs when both are facing hard times, because that's what vulnerability is. It's a weakness. It is a chink in your armor. It is a flaw. To say that you are having a hard time being emotionally intelligent or emotionally mature, or you're having a hard time expressing your emotions, that is not a vulnerability. That is you having a hard time expressing yourself and making you believe that to have emotions makes you vulnerable. That is you acknowledging the fact that your emotions make you weak. Emotions do not make you weak. They are how we process things. They are a fucking alert system. When you're around somebody and you're like, yo, I just don't feel right around this person, and then your whole energy gets fucked up for the day, that's your emotions and your spirit going, hey, this isn't right. It's an alert system. We have those emotions because it is to teach us shit. Pay attention to your emotions. It's not a weakness. Go ahead.
What?
Oh, I thought you said like you were getting ready to chime in.
No, I cleared my throat.
So this whole thing, learn to be emotionally vulnerable, it does not work for me. How about being emotionally mature? How about being I don't like open, right? How about owning that shit? How about just balancing your spirit, your mental and your physical with your partner? Because it's a balance. Don't look at it as emotionally vulnerable. That's the society trying to teach you that shit. And the more that I've broken down that word, the more I will never use that word. Vulnerability is a problem.
Yeah.
That is a blanket statement that is being used by social media and the masses to make us weak and feel like we are not enough. Men are emotionally vulnerable. They lack emotional maturity. They can't be emotionally vulnerable. They're telling you that they want you to be weak.
Yeah.
Fuck that. Be strong. Be emotionally intelligent. Tell me that there's not a way to be more stronger than that. You know your fucking shit. You know your worth, and you know how to talk about it. Run that shit.
So after that breakdown, I would recommend sitting down and saying, are you in a space where I can vent?
Yeah.
And if they say no, say, okay, when you're ready, I'm fucking going through it and I need some support.
Yep. That's it. I need my partner to be my partner right now.
Another one from Kim. Chris, when you stop yourself from not saying what you want to say in that bad email, even if you hurt some feelings, it might be exactly what they need to hear. Just my thoughts.
I agree. And sometimes it is. However, sometimes there is an honor and discretion.
Yeah.
What, babe?
I said sometimes it's just not.
Yeah. I am a very cold and callous person, and I am able to turn my emotions off when needed, which is why my borderline is not that big of a problem for my life anymore, because I can go from emotional to logic brain like that. But I know that there are people out there that hear that shit that I say and they take it super hard. And like, I don't want to be the reason that people's lives get fucked up. I want to help people. So if I come across very brash and I initially say my first thought, it's going to turn a whole lot of people off to the podcast. So I can't do that. That's it. We are caught up on super chats.
All right.
Do you have anything else that you would like to talk about, hotness?
No, not particularly. I'm very excited about my knitting project.
Yeah.
Yeah. With my foot being broken, I'm taking these few days to work on it.
Yeah. Logan said, yeah, the bluntness Chris has, even when he can come off as rude, is what helped me get the message when I needed it most. Men respond very well to that. Not going to lie, a lot of men do respond well to that. However, there are boys that do not respond well to that. And there's a distinction in the way that our brain processes information, and that could be a problem for a lot of people. So,
Do you think it could be like an increase in estrogen?
It could be. Yeah, I mean, it could be. Estrogen, I will cry at a dog fight in a TV show if my estrogen's fucked up. I hear Arms of an Angel, it's instant. Like, I got to turn the TV off immediately. I don't want to see that shit.
There was that K commercial with the old couple.
Yeah, fucking stupid shit.
Yeah.
So that's actually how I knew that my estrogen was off, because we saw that before I got my blood results back. I noticed by the music that I'm listening to and the way that I react to TV shows. If we're watching TV, or if I hear something in a book and it makes me emotional, I know my estrogen's not right.
Yeah.
However, I don't think that that's necessarily the case. I think a lot of that comes down to parents not parenting. I think it comes down to a lack of fathers being in the home. I think it comes down a lot to people not being able to say what they need to say in a way that it can be said. Sometimes we need to be kicked in the teeth. We need that hard truth. Sometimes we need to hear things that we don't want to fucking hear because it's going to make us grow. Yeah. That, oh, it's okay, honey. No, the fuck it's not. Like, That's a problem for me. So I think a lot of that comes down to the way that people are raised and what is not acceptable now. Soft times make soft men. Soft men make hard times. Hard times makes hard men. We are in soft times and things are about to get real fucking hard. Look what's happening in the Middle East right now. So we got $1.99 from Dylan that said, that's the shit I needed. Thank you. I also saw a regular chat up here. I want to scroll to real quick from, where was it? Oh, it was Heather. I saw Heather's name. Heather, did you see that we're going to be doing some content with my mom that's going to be dropping on Sunday? I think you're going to enjoy that. Heather Brewer, not Heather the mod. I don't think I've got anything. I think we're done.
Yep.
Wait. I saw something about bunny or jelly. Hang on.
They're asking if we've heard back from anybody we've wanted on the podcast.
We have not. We have heard, yes, we have. We've heard back from a lot of people. We just haven't heard from the people that we really want to have on our podcast, like bunny or jelly or both. But we've had a lot of correspondence with other people that are going to be on the garden or will be on the podcast as a whole. So we're doing some things. Things are growing. We're evolving. Life is changing. The podcast is changing and things are getting better. Oh, there's another super chat. This is the last one I'm reading. Do not send any more super chats. Kim said, I know sometimes it might come across as too much, but I think you both balance it really well. We need to be told with bluntness. I see why you didn't, though. Any luck on getting Candace Owens? I would 100% max out every credit card I had if that's what it took to get her on the podcast. I don't care if it took me 10 years to pay that fucking debt off, because that would be somebody in studio would be game changing for us.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
All right. With that being said, guys, we will see you on the next one.
Bye, guys.
All right, guys, I lied. I'm still here. If you're still here, I'm still here. Real quick. Yep, full screen. Thank you. I was supposed to give Kyle some book recommendations, and I forgot. I got up and walked away to cut the string off my hat and was like, oh, shit, I forgot about Kyle. So I'm back to give Kyle the book recommendations. Boundaries by John Townsend and Henry Cloud. It does have religious undertones to it. It's currently what I'm working through right now. I really enjoy it. And then Man Up by Bedros Kellion. Also a really good book. I've gone through it twice now, and the men in my men's group, some of them have gone through that 3 or 4 times. So really good books, and I hope this helps. And if not, remind me the next time I see you that I didn't give you the book recommendations. It's written down. I will give you the book recommendations. That being said, we will see you guys on the next one.